Okay, it's running. That's Alina in there now.
Stop it. Is it really? Yeah. Okay. All right, let me know when you're ready to read the scenario.
Okay, I think I kind of know what I want to say. There's a lot that could be brought out of this, though. Let me read this. I did not write that real big, and that may be a little bit.
Okay, scoot that mark over just a little bit because it's in the picture.
Oh, sorry.
That's good.
Is that better?
That's better.
I didn't realize you made the picture that big. Y'all could have zoomed on me.
Oh, wait, you did. Okay. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here's your scenario. You are interpreting for a meeting, and during the break, several deaf people come up to you and say that they understand you better than your partner. They ask you to interpret the rest of the meeting if possible. Your time begins now.
The first dilemma that I noticed is that they're asking me to take over the rest of the meeting. I don't know how long that could be, but that would be difficult for me to do just being one interpreter. So I think first I would tell them I appreciate their positive feedback on my skill, but that I would need to talk with my partner first. So the problem is that they've asked me to take on the rest of the meeting. I'm going to hold on the ethics. I think I would discuss it with my partner first to see what is going on with my partner. Maybe they're struggling with the meeting. Maybe they don't feel confident. Maybe they feel confident. They don't understand why there's this communication breakdown. So get a feeling of what my partner is experiencing, and then I could decide from then what I would do. I think it's hard to say what ethics kind of are involved because it really depends on what my partner's feeling and how it really impacts the deaf person. Ethics-wise, though, hopefully they have the skill and the ability to do that job. If they come out and say, yeah, I didn't feel comfortable, I'm really struggling with this, maybe if it's only 30 minutes left, maybe I can take on the rest of the meeting and interpret it. However, if it's an all-day thing, then, and they say they don't feel comfortable continuing with it because they don't have the skill or ability to do it or the knowledge or the background for that meeting, then maybe contact the agencies, see what they want to do, if they can send a replacement. I also think you have to have respect for the deaf person too on their communication mode. Maybe this person is signing more English or more ASL. Maybe they're more ASL or English. Can that interpreter kind of tweak their style to fit more with the deaf person? I think there's some respect for the interpreter, though, too, to make sure that the interpreter is feeling comfortable with the job. Maybe they need more monitoring. Maybe they need more feeding, more help through the job. So I need to communicate with them and see really where their feelings are. Maybe they weren't honest about their ability to take on the job, and maybe they thought they could, and then going through it realizing they can't. So, I mean, there's a lot of, I think, discussion that needs to happen first before any decisions can be made. So I think those are some of the ethics that I just mentioned. The stakeholders who are involved would be, of course, the deaf client, both of the interpreters, the agency, the employer, or whoever is hosting this meeting, who's giving the presentation, the other coworkers or people who are involved in the meeting. It's really hard to decide on what solution I would offer. It really depends on what my partner has to say. If my partner said, yes, I don't feel confident with this meeting, and if the meeting is short and I can handle the last 30 minutes or 45 minutes, anything less than 1 hour, and I'm willing, I feel confident in my health and my abilities, then I'm willing to go on and take over that. I would, obviously that would benefit the deaf person, but how is the other interpreter going to feel afterwards? So I think if that situation was to occur, then afterwards I would take that interpreter aside and kind of discuss with them, which is involved in our code of ethics too, of discussing on monitoring and assisting and just giving feedback afterwards to see where those breakdowns were happening. If it was a meeting that went too long, if there was a meeting that went too long, then I would go ahead and contact the agency if they could send someone. If we can't get a replacement and I can't take on the whole meeting for myself, then at that time the deaf person would just have to understand that it's last minute, we can't do that, but for the next meeting we'll keep it in mind, and we'll just have to go on with it. So I mean, those are a few solutions. There's so many that are in my mind right now that I can't think of naming all of them. I think the best solution for myself would be really to talk with my partner and see what they're feeling, and then maybe bring in the deaf person and say, okay, we have a long meeting left, how can we problem solve and make this successful for everyone? Or if it's just a short meeting that's left, I would then shoulder that. I would take on that responsibility. So I think those are my decisions that I would make for short-term goals. For long-term goals, I think debriefing with the interpreter afterwards and see where the communication was, the breakdowns and everything, and how to prevent that in the future. I have no time to summarize. That's a hard one.